Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Sadi Shri Gaur Bhakta Jai Rup Sanatan Bhakta Shri Bhagavata Rasa Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram First of all, I offer my Shastra that both Brahmins, the lotus feet of our spiritual masters. Jai Srimad Bhaktivedanta Sri Narayan Goswami Maharaj Sripad. Jai Srimad Bhaktivedanta Sri Bhakti Goswami Maharaj Sripad. Entire Rupankari Guru Vada, the all Vaishnavas and Vishnu's So the question being asked by the Vaishnavas is that Raslila takes place in the eternal world. So what need is there for Krishna to perform his Raslila here in this material world as well? If it's already taking place there. And what is the speciality of these pastimes in regard to Aprakat Dham and this Bhavan Vrindavan, Prakat Dham? So we hear that in one way, during this Prakat Leela, we see that the very name of Srimati Radhika, Radha Rani, this very name Radha comes from the word Aradhana. Means Radharani is the best of Krishna's worshippers. How? Because it is said at this Rastali, when Krishna was there, at that time he manifested Srimati Radhika from his left side. And Gopishwar Mahadev manifested from his right side. And then as soon as Radharani saw Krishna, she ran towards him. Bhavit. Why? To perform Aradhana. And therefore she received this name Radha. So anyhow, this is one speciality of Prakat Leela, that we hear how Radharani appears in various different ways. That how she was also born from the womb of Giridhari in one kalpa. She was also born on this golden flower as she fell from Bhutana's bag. So this way, all these Leelas, they only correspond to Prakat Leela, not to Prakat. Because in Aprakat Braj, Radharani always was, she always is. There is no birth or manifesting from Krishna's left side, anything like that, of that sort. Is always present with him as Sarup Shakti. So therefore we see that the very pastimes of Krishna, they appear in three ways. They manifest in three forms. One is Aprakat Dham, one is Prakat Dham, and one is Drishyaman. So Prakat Dham are the Leelas that are taking place in Goloka Dham. And those Leelas are taking place continuously. And the other is Prakat. When Krishna descends to this world, then he performs all these Leelas. Why? Mad Bhakta Vinodaya Karomi Vivida Kriya. So that to give pleasure to his devotees, he performs various kinds of pastimes. In Prakat Braj especially. But why does he descend to this Prakat Braj? What is the reason? Because we see that one pastime of his is also to deliver all the jivas. So therefore, after Krishna has descended to this material world, and then he performs all his pastimes, then what happens? And he again goes to another universe. Then all the jivas of this universe, they listen to these leelas that he has performed here in his Martalok. And by listening to these leelas, and by taking shelter of his dham especially, because although Krishna is left seemingly, still his foot dust is there in the dham. So by taking shelter of that foot dust, and by listening to Krishna's pastimes, and certainly the jiva will achieve prema. Because Krishna has given this benediction to Narad Rishi, that anyone who comes to my Leela Stalis, anyone who takes the dust of this place on their head, anyone who listens to the Harikatha, the Leelas that are taking place here, that bound to achieve prema. And also we see that what is the fruit of listening to this last Leela? The fruit is that this lust itself is destroyed. Like in that verse we hear that Giridham Bhajavatu Giridham Chavish. In that verse Sukadeva Goswami says that one who is deep, and especially certainly, this api means certainly, the shloka it's mentioned. If anyone listens to this Leela, then what will happen? Lust will surely be removed from his heart. Anushrunaya, athavarnayatva. First he should listen properly with faith, and then athavarnayatva, and then he should describe what he has heard. And then what will happen? Droga pratilapya kamam. This pratilapya kamam will be destroyed. So this way, these very pastimes of Krishna, they're completely, exclusively composed of prema. And especially these leelas that he performs in Prakat Braj are accessible to the conditioned souls. More so in the leelas he performs in a Prakat Braj. Because the leelas that he performs there in a Prakat Braj, no one has even any idea there what's happening. But only when he descends here and when he performs, then the jivas have some idea what are the leelas that are taking place in a Prakat Braj. And especially you see these leelas that Krishna performed, like Ras Leela and his pastime as Srimati Radhika, in his form as a Kishore, these leelas, they only manifested for 2 years during Krishna's time. Because how many years did he stay in Braj? Roughly approximately 10 years he stayed. And after that he went to Mathura and Dwaraka. So out of these 10 years, if you see, until the age of 7, he performed his Pauganda Leela. And when he was 7 years old, he lifted Giriraj. And exactly after that, after 1 year, when he was 8 years old, then he assembled all the gopis. He called them on his flute, and then all the gopis, they engaged in this last Leela with him. So beginning from the age of 8 until the age of 10 and a half, he performed his Leelas, corresponding to his Kishore form. So in his form as Kishore, he was only here for 2.5 years, not more than that. Then he went to Mathura. But still, these Leelas that he performed, as in his Kishore form, these Leelas are the topmost Leelas. Therefore, Shringaras is called Adiras. What is the meaning of Shringa? Shringa means the peak of a mountain. So all these different rasas, they're like mountains. But this Shringa, this is the topmost summit of this mountain of prema. And what is that? Madhurya Bhav. And we see in this Ras Panchadhyayi, we see how all the gopis have expressed their different moods, their different sentiments in regard to the leelas that have taken place there. Like we hear that when Krishna's footprints are seen alongside Srimati Radhika's, then we hear there's this verse, Anaradhito nunam bhagwan harishvara, yanno vihaya govinda pritaya manayam. These are one of the few shlokas where Radharani's name is mentioned in an indirect way. So, by whom was this verse spoken? So, this verse, if you see, it is spoken by many different kinds of gopis. Sometimes it is said that this verse was spoken by Chandravali. This verse was spoken by Lalita. So, whom was this verse ultimately spoken by? So, there, Gurudev mentions in the purport to this verse, while translating Jiva Goswami Shtika, that this verse was actually spoken by the Surit Paksha gopis. There is Shyama Sakhi. Why? Because those who were Vipaksha, Chandravali and the others, when they saw the footprints of Srimati Radhika alongside Krishna's, then they were actually very much aggrieved. Because they were thinking that previously we saw that Krishna's footprints and Radharani's footprints were together. So we were thinking, they were thinking, who has this gopi worshipped so much? But then after some time, they see that the footprints of this gopi have disappeared. Only Krishna's footprints are visible. So Chandravali and her group, they became very aggrieved, thinking, oh, now her footprints are not there, so surely Krishna must have carried her on his shoulders. So this we cannot tolerate. So therefore they could not speak anything. And as for the Tatashta gopis, they were not very much interested in either Radharani meeting with Krishna or not meeting with Krishna. They were Tathastha, neutral. But those who were in Swapaksha, Lalita and all the other Sakhis, Lalita Usha and all the Sakhis, and they saw these footprints, and when they saw that Radharani's footprints were also there, and soon after when they disappeared, then in their heart they felt so much joy, because they recognized Radharani's footprints. So they were only signaling to the other Sakhis in the group with their eyes, saying, oh, just see, this is our Sakhi's footprints. And also, Lalita also could have spoken this verse. Why? She's actually teasing the gopis from the other group. But this verse actually, Jiva Goswami mentions, was spoken by Shama Sakhi herself. Why? Because when she saw these footprints, you see the Surut Paksha gopis, they are not unfavorable to Radharani, they are actually partial to her. They don't arrange for the meeting between Radha and Krishna, but still when Radharani meets Krishna, still they feel happy. Although they don't directly engage arranging their meeting between Radha and Krishna. So therefore, Surut Sakha, the Surut gopis, when Shama spoke this, then she realized that, oh, this is actually, who is this gopi worship? This gopi is certainly worship Narayan. Why Narayan? Because Narayan, who is he? He is Ishwar. And Ishwar, he fulfills all of one's desires. So therefore, she has worshipped Ishwar in such a way that Ishwar has fulfilled all of her desires, so much so that Govinda has taken her away to a secluded place, Nivrit Nikunj, and there he is decorating her. And then again, a few verses after that, it is mentioned how that Krishna, Sridhar Swami, he mentions in his purport that Radharani, when the Vipaksha gopis saw this whole Leela of Krishna carrying Radharani, they thought that Radharani herself, she climbed forcibly on Krishna's shoulders. But the Swapaksha gopis, what did they see? The Surut Paksha gopis rather, they were thinking rather than Radharani forcibly climbing on Krishna's shoulders, Krishna himself lifted Radharani on his shoulder. And then in this way, after some time, they sat down in one place, and then Krishna, he started picking some of these flowers from the tree there, Ashok tree. Why? Krishna was thinking, if I place Radharani here, although the Ashok tree doesn't have any flowers, still it automatically starts blooming, blossoming. And then many flowers will automatically appear and I can decorate her in this way. And then we hear that Radharani went into Man. So what kind of Man? There Jiva Goswami says there are two kinds of Man. In one kind of Man, when only Radharani is exclusively thinking about Krishna, then what happens? In that kind of Man, there is a Sanchari Bhav of Harsh, joy. So this is one kind of Man, and Radharani is completely absorbed and only thinking about Krishna. And then when Radharani realized that the gopis were coming nearby, she also had Man. But that Man did not have the Sanchari Bhav of Harsha. That Man had the Sanchari Bhav of pride. This Garva that is mentioned in Jiva Goswami's commentary. So in this way, all these different kinds of moods and emotions are being exhibited there during this Ras Leela. Especially this Ras Leela corresponds to which particular Ras Leela? The different kinds of Ras Leela. Sharadiya Ras, Vasanti Ras, Hemantiki Ras Leela. Actually, on every Purnima, Ras Leela takes place. But the Vasanti Ras, Hemantiki, and the Sharadiya Ras Leela, they're all like the most prominent. So in this way, the Ras that takes place in this Prakat Braj, especially is Panchayati Ras. Panchayati Ras means all the different gopis they get together. Surut Paksh, Sapaksh, Vipaksh, Tatashta, they all get together and take part in this Ras Leela and Prakat Braj. But in Aprakat Braj, we see in this Ras Leela that Krishna performs, only Radharani's Sapaksha gopis. Only they take part in that Leela. Why? Because we see here, soon after Krishna disappeared from the Rasa dance, then what happened? All the gopis, they got together on the bank of the Yamuna and they started singing this Gopi Geet in separation. And then in Krishna, we hear that he appeared. And therein the gopis, they mention this verse, Dasa Mavirvat Shauri, Smaya Mana Mukambuja, Pitambara Dharashravi, Sakshan Manmatha Manmatha. And there we hear that after Krishna appeared in front of the gopis, and how do the gopis worship him? Like first, they offered this asana. And what was their asana? The asan was their cloth, which is already dirty, the dust of Vraj. It was not even clean. And they made Krishna sit there. Then they offered Padya and Arghya. And then they offered Mala. What is this Mala? Not this Mala that the pujaris offer. Rather their very embrace. Their embrace is this Mala. And this way they worship Krishna. So all these pastimes take place only in Prakat Braj. Why? Because there you see who is offering all these different things like Padya, Arghya and all these things. Actually Chandravali is offering all these things because she's very Dakshini, very submissive. Chandravali, Saitya, Padma, they are offering all these different items. And then Shama Sakhi, she is looking at Krishna from a distance and she is also holding his hand. But Radharani, she is at a distance and she is performing arati by her sidelong glance. So all these leelas they take place only in Prakat. In Aprakat Braj, Radharani is only with her Sakhis. She is only present there. But in Prakat Braj, all these different groups of gopis get together. Why? Because there are also the Sadhan Siddha gopis there. Because the Sadhan Siddha gopis, they are under the guidance of these Nitya Siddha gopis. Why? Because the Sadhan Siddha gopis, they have achieved Swarup Siddhi. But still, to achieve Vastu Siddhi, they have to associate with the Nitya Siddhas. And only when they achieve Vastu Siddhi in Prakat Braj, then they can go to Aprakat Braj. Without achieving Vastu Siddhi here, how can they possibly go to Aprakat Braj? So therefore, in this Rasya that takes place in Prakat Braj, all the Sadhan Siddhas are under the direct guidance of the Nitya Siddhas. And then under their guidance, when they properly perfect their services, then they go to one particular group in Aprakat Braj. And they identify with their Yudheshwari. In this way. So in Aprakat Braj, there is no such thing like training. This training is already finished here in Prakat Braj. So therefore, there is some slight difference between the Rasya that takes place here and that takes place there in Aprakat Braj. And then in this way, we see in the separation that the gopis feel during the Rasya that takes place here, you see, is a little more prolonged, is a little more enhanced. But the separation they feel from Krishna is not so prolonged in Aprakat Braj. Like we see here, the gopis feel this Sudur Pravas. Means when Krishna is away at a distance, they feel so much separation. But there in Aprakat Braj, there is no Sudur Pravas. There is only Kinchit Dur Pravas. Means there is only short distance of separation. And you see here in Prakat Braj, there is Kshana Kalpatva and Kalpa Kshanatva. Means in Prakat Braj, Kshana Kalpatva means one moment of separation is like one Kalpa. From separation from Krishna. And Kalpa Kshanatva means when the gopis are meeting with Krishna, then one entire Kalpa will become like one moment. Kshana. So in Aprakat Braj there is no Kshana Kalpatva and Kalpa Kshanatva. Why? Because in Aprakat Braj there is only the eternal present. But here you see in Prakat Braj there is past, present and future. Therefore there is Kalpa Kshanatva and Kshana Kalpatva. In this way. And there are all the other symptoms of Raslila also that take place that are common to both. Like Aprani Janma Lalasa. What is the meaning of Aprani Janma Lalasa? The gopis, they have this feeling of taking birth as a flute. This is the meaning of Aprani Janma Lalasa. So this is common to both Aprakat and Prakat. And there is also Brahmanda Vilodita, Vilodam. Means when the gopis are suffering so much in separation from Krishna, then the hearts of all the other living entities of present are also being churned in separation. So this only takes place in Prakat Braj, not in Aprakat Braj. Because in Prakat Braj, there are still some living entities who haven't achieved Vastu Siddhi. Therefore, the separation of the gopis is also affecting all their hearts. And in Aprakat Braj, there is no such thing. But lastly, I'll end with this. There are three stages of Mahabhav, which are common both to Prakat Braj and Aprakat Braj. What are they? Mahabhav is characterized by three stages called Yavadashraya Vritti, Sasamvedya Dasha, and Suddhipta, Ashtasaptik Bhav. So this is common to both. What is Yavadashraya Vritti? Yavadashraya Vritti means, you see that according to the Ashraya Avamban, means according to this receptacle of prayam, these leelas are transferred into the hearts of all the manjaris and sakhis who are present nearby. And so Samvedya Dasha means the same Dasha, the same happiness and separation that Radharani is feeling is also reflected in the hearts of all the manjaris. And then there's Suddhipta Ashtasaptika Vikar. The Ashtasaptika Vikars manifest in the most blazing form in all their different bodies. Like all the 8 symptoms of ecstasy, like shivering, horripilation, and then this becoming stunned in ecstasy, hair standing on end. All these symptoms are manifest to the highest degree possible. Suddhi, Dashta Satyapika. So these symptoms of Mahabhava are common to both Prakat and Aprakat. But still the sadhans and the gopis who haven't received the training, still they're lacking to some degree. And then when they go to Aprakat Braj, that lacking is completely covered. Like you see, when Krishna started the Rasa in Prakat Braj, some of the gopis who had children could not take part in the Rasa Leela. Actually, it is not that they had children from their own wombs. This is not possible, because their husbands could never touch them. It means they had some connection with children from their relatives, not from their own selves. And then Kshina Mangala. What happened? Kshina Mangala means even this piety that they had, that was also destroyed in separation from Krishna. And then they took part in Rasa Leela. So this does not take place in Aprakat Braj. This takes place only here in Prakat Braj. So anyhow, in Ras Panchadayi, Gurudev has given so much there. This is the heart of Srila Gurudev, this book. He's given so much there in this book, in this Ras Panchadayi, all these different commentaries of Jiva Goswami, Chakravarti Thakur, but we cannot even possibly imagine. The Vaishnavas have also spoken so much on this. Like we hear, some of these classes were lost, we hear. But still they spoke a second time. In 2017, if I can remember clearly, there they spoke on Ras Panchadayi also. And 1 year before that, they spoke on Gita Govind in 2016. So how much are we trying to recollect from those classes about all these different leelas that Radha and Krishna performed? Even if all those classes were lost, still in 2017 they spoke from the same book. So those aren't lost. So how much are we trying to listen to those classes? So anyhow, this Ras Leela is the crush jewel of all of Krishna's pastimes. Therefore Gurudev also disappeared in this Chakratirtha. Chakratirtha means what? Chakratirtha means chakra. Means this Ras Leela itself. Means like a circle this Ras Leela is taking place. And there Gurudev disappeared. And Namo Ananta Leelaya Devaya Tupyam. What is this Ananta Leela? It means Ras Leela. Because in the Ras Leela so many different kinds of pastimes take place. Not just singing and dancing, but hide and seek Leela, gambling Leela, playing in the water sports, Jal Keri Leela, so many different kinds of Leela. Therefore, it's Namo Ananta Leelaya Devaya Tupyam. So anyhow, only by listening to the realized soul, then we can hope to have any glimpse of this most wonderful Leela of Radha, Krishna and Gopis. Vancha Kalpataru Vishya Kripasindhu Jalitananda.
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। First of all, I have my Sastangan Pranam Thagnam Time Lord Sri Paramaratam Guru Mahaparma Vishnu Bhara Stotra Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Swami Maharaj Shri Gurudev. Secondly, I have my Sastangan Pranam Thagnam Time Lord Sri my Sri Rupan Gauriya Guru Varga. I have my Sastangan Pranam to all the Sangha Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas. By Srila Guru Pada Padmas and the Vaishnavas cause us mercy. We are again here in Sri Vrindavan Dham performing Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smarana, Paras and all the 9 limbs of Bhakti in their association. And now the Vaishnavas are churning this ocean of nectar of this Harikadanamrit and discussing the speciality of this Rasa Leela. Vaishnava asked the question, is Bhagavan not satisfied with Dasya, Sakya and Vatsalya, these other rasas? Therefore he needs to perform this Rasa Leela. Or is it the opposite? Why does he spend so much time doing Sakya? He's always with the Sakas. And is this Rasa Leela, is it eternal or not? Is it Bhagavan only performs it for a few years in this Prakrit Vrindavan? In Aprakrit Vrindavan, is it not eternally there present? So trying to remember the lotus feet of Sri Guru Pada Padma, the Vaishnavas, I'll try to say a few words in this regard. So we know there are 5 rasas: Santa, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. Madhurya also called Sringara rasa, Adi rasa. And our Guru Bhargava have described that this Madhurya rasa, Sringara rasa, is the most complete. It contains all the qualities of all the other rasas actually. In the same way that earth contains all the qualities, the sense objects of all the other 5 elements. For instance, you have ether. Ether travels sound. Then you have air. Air has sound and touch. Then you have fire. It has sound, touch and form, sight. Then you have water. It has sound, touch, form, and it has taste. But earth has all of those plus smell. So similarly, the different rasas, Santa possesses what quality? This Krishnaika Nishta and Asatya, complete renunciation of anything that is material and complete firm faith in the absolute truth. But when you progress to Dasya, then one more quality is added, that is Mamata, deep possessiveness, the object of the Lord. And along with that, Mamata brings Seva. But when you progress from Dasya to Sakya, then comes this Vishamba. This Vishramba Prem, is this fraternity, Sakya, this friendship, this feeling that Krishna and me, I am equal with the Lord. He is not greater than me. And this can be seen in the Lord's pastime. And when you progress further from Sakya to Vatsalya, then there comes this quality of Tarana Bharchan or Palam Poshan. Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba, those in Vatsalya, just have a deep feeling that I must nourish and protect Krishna. And also, if need be, I will also chastise him. If he does anything naughty or wrong, then he must be chastised, otherwise his character will not be good. He will grow up to become a dacoit or anything. But when you progress from Vatsalya to Madhurya, then comes the quality of Sarvanga Sevana. They are serving Krishna with all their body, mind, word, everything. There's nothing that they have not offered to Krishna, they have offered everything. And only those in Madhurya, they can perform this service with all of these emotions. So, it's not that one rasa is superior to the other. But our Guru Bhargava described that it is like describing Purna, Purnatar, Purnatamam. One is complete, one is more complete, and one is most complete. There are some specialities in these higher rasas that makes it more relatable to Krishna in one way. In Shanta Ras, when the Shanta Bhaktis, they meditate on the Lord and they praise Him in Bhagavan, He's pleased with that, He's satisfied in one sense. But more than that, when Hanuman serves, then the Lord is so much more pleased than that. But then when the Sakas like Sridham, Sudam, Madhumanga, they serve, then more than Hanuman, then they are pleasing to Krishna. And when Nanda Baba and Yashoda, they serve, the Sakas serve Krishna, then Krishna is even more controlled by their prayers. But when the gopis, they perform their service, then Krishna is controlled the most. All of them are pleasing Krishna. All of them are complete. But there is some, from the point of Ras Vichar, there is some Vaishya, some speciality. And then Krishna, when he's in that role, then he enjoys in different ways. Some people have made claims that Sakya Rasa is the highest, or higher than Vatsalya. Why? They have said that because sometimes when Krishna is playing with the Sakas, Mother Yashoda will call Krishna back, come home, and then Krishna will not come. He will want to play with the Sakas more and more. The Mother Yashoda will have to use so many tricks. Oh, how Bilal is coming, this and that. And then somehow or another, by hook or crook, by force, he brings Krishna back. But Krishna's heart is there with the Sakas. They try to make some argument like this. But so many people can make so many arguments, so many conditioned souls can have so many opinions. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatra Tulanapara. What is the opinion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and those coming in his line? That we should consider. What is Srimad Bhagavatam Pramana Amala? What is the evidence given in the Bhagavatam? That we should consider. Therefore, Raslila has been described, and we know that actually this is not true because in the Dhambandan Lila, when the Sakas tried to open the knot that was binding Krishna to the grinding mortar, they couldn't open it. Why? Because the Vatsalya Prem of Mother Yashoda had bound Krishna Damodar to the grinding mortar, they couldn't open. Only when Nanda Baba himself came, then he could untie Krishna. The Vatsalya Prem controls Krishna more than that Sakya Prem. And the reason why Krishna is all the time spending with the Sakas so much time, yes, he spends time with the Sakas, but the most important days at the time of the day, that is the Madhya Lila and the Rati Lila, Krishna is spending with the gopis. Those times of the day which are not so important, then Krishna, as a disguise, he will be with the Sakas. The whole time Krishna is thinking, when will I meet with the gopis? As soon as he gets a chance, he calls his Priyanadma Sakas, like Madhu Mangal Subal. He leaves the other Sakas, and he goes and he meets with the gopis here and there. He leaves them. He leaves Nanda Baba, Mother Yashoda behind Nanda Baba. Leaves them all. In the night time, Krishna will, like the Vaishnava said, he will make his bed, put pillow and blanket, make like his form, his akar is there on the bed, his shape is there. Then he'll sneak out and he'll go and meet with the gopis. So there's some special Vaishishta there in the gopis' prayer. What is that? In Nujjana Nilamani and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami described that there's this Sambandatmik prayer, and then there's this Kam Rup prayer, Kamatmika prayer. One prayer is based on the Brajvasi's Sambandha to the Lord. Like Sakas will think Krishna is my one, Sridham will think, or any other, the Sakas will think Krishna is my cousin, or he is my friend, or like they'll have, based on their relation in the village, they have, the Krishna is related to them somehow, some Sambandha is there. Mother Yashoda Nanda Baba think Krishna is my son. And in this way, all the different residents of Braj, they have some village relation with Krishna in some way. They're related. And somehow, they all know each other, and based on that Sambandha, they all, in that cowherd community, they're all acting. But the gopis, they've given up this so-called societal connection. And they only love Krishna with their calm, with their prem. They don't consider Krishna is my cousin, this and that. Even Dhanishta Sakhi, she has this calm, atmic prem for Krishna. Therefore, sometimes the gopis, they'll teach Krishna, they'll teach Dhanishta, because why? They're related in some way. And they try to make them blush and try to make them put in an awkward position. They'll make jokes. Oh, you have connection with Dhanishta, this and that. But really, this consideration of my cousin, brother or sister, this is not there. All the gopis, they have this kamatmik prem, this pure attraction to Krishna. And within that kamatmik prem, then there's sambhog ichchama and tat bhav ichchama. Those who are directly meeting with Krishna, like Radhika, Chandravali. Then there are the kinkaris, the Paledasis, who are always serving Radhika, serving her lotus feet. So there's so many different categories to this prem. And it's this Madhurya prem that fully binds and attracts Krishna. They said that the other kinds of prems, that Sakala Jagate Mur Kore Vidhi Bhakti Braja Pave Paiti Nahi Shakti. Aishwarya Jnanita Sabha Jagata Mishita. Aishwarya Siddhila Prem Nahi Mur Krishna. That prem which is mixed with Aishwarya doesn't attract Krishna. So Bhavik, natural Braj Prem, that of Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, that is only found in Braj. And out of all those rasas that are found in Braj, Madhurya Prem is Ujjvala Prem, this Unnata Ujjvala Rasa, this Singha Rasa, has binds Krishna the most. Therefore, Raslila has been described as Lila Churamani. It is the crest of topmost of all Leelas, of all pastime. No other incarnation has performed this Raslila. Only Krishna performed this Raslila. And to show mercy on the sadhans in the Vedachari, Upanishadchari, the Janakpuri Kanyas, and the Swarnasitas, and all the different sadhaks, then this Yautiki, Ayutiki, all the different groups. In Krishna, he performed this Raslila, allowing entrance, so that these Sadha and Siddha Gopis, they could perfect their prayer. That is the Sharadiya Ras Purnima. And then this Sobhagya Abhiman, this false pride, this sense of false pride comes in their heart. Oh, we are not less than Radha. And seeing this, then Radhika, she becomes Manini and she leaves. And then Krishna seeing that Radhika has left, Radha tuhu vina kahara ras. Tuhu lagi mora baraja vas. Only because of you I am doing this Braj Vas. Without you, Radha, where is Ras? And Krishna leaves and searches for Radhika. As we've been hearing, there in Priti Sandarbha Jiva Goswami has given a very long explanation, detail of this. All the different verses, which verse is spoken by which gopi, as we have heard. Sometimes mentioned that Lalita Devi is speaking this verse, sometimes say the Shama Saki, different gopis have spoken these verses. Anyhow, but then in Gita Govinda, Jayadev Goswami has described Vasanti Ras. That takes place there in Govardhan. When we do parikrama there at Puchira Lota, every time we do Abhishek, that is the place actually, Vasanti Ras. There is Raghava, Pandit Gufa, there is Apsarakun, Navalkun, that place, Vasanti Ras. There only Nitya Gopis and Radhika Sapaksha Gopis, they perform this Ras there. In Sharadiya Ras, Krishna had to sneak away from the Ras, leave them. Then the Gopis went searching for him, we just heard, and they're crying for him, and Krishna leaves even Radhika. Ultimately, then they go to the bank of the Yamuna and they're crying this Gopi Gita. But in Vasanti Ras, Krishna doesn't have to lead away. Krishna will grab Radha in his hand, and in front of all the Gopis, he will take Radhika away to a secluded Kunj. So that Vasanti Ras Lila is superior to the Sharadiya Ras Lila. And therefore, it is Vishwanath Thakur in Ragavartmika Chandrika has said that the Aprakrit Vrindavan, the Bhoma Vrindavan, Prakrit Vrindavan, they are non-different. The only difference is that some specialities, some of the moods that are in Aprakrit Vrindavan, they manifest in physical form. Like the demons and the husbands, they are actually physically manifest here. And the Balya and Poganda Leelas. But in Aprakrit Vrindavan, this Kaishor Leela is eternally present. The other ones are there in the mood only form. Therefore, if the Vasanti Ras Leela that takes place here in Govardhan, where only the Nitya Siddha Gopis are present like Radhika and her Sapaksha Gopis, then it is also eternally present there. And therefore, this Ras Leela is eternally present. It is taking place all the time in the spiritual world. It's not just for 1 hour, 2 hours that is like here, but it's always eternally performing there. Like Gurudev said, he always would say, what is Ras? Ras is not only the mundane people, they give their own mundane conceptions. They superimpose their mundane ideas of Ras and they try to equate it to lust or lustful activities in this world. But Gurudev, like said, it is singing, dancing, decorating each other, swinging on the swing, boating, swimming in the Yamuna, singing songs, Madhupan, playing dice games, different things they do, different activities, wonderful activities, and these are all considered as Ras. Ras is plural, Ras, and Ras is singular. So when all the different, this rasa is, so many different kinds of rasa comes together, then it becomes ras. So many different kinds of activities are taking place in this rasa. Therefore, the spiritual world in Aprakrit Vrindavan, this rasa is always blazing there is always present there in so many forms. It's always taking place. And therefore, we should not think that this Rasa Leela is anything mundane, but it is eternal. It is spiritual. And it is the highest. It is Leela. Chudamani is the topmost of all Leelas. And Bhagavan is always engaged in performing this Rasa. Therefore, he is this Ras Bihari. He's performing these pastimes there, enjoying them. And for the mercy of the Sadhaks, Anagrahaya Bhaktanam, Manusham Deham Astha. Ya Tat Badate Tatrisha Kideya Shrutva Tatpuravade. He does them here. Why? Ya Shrutva. So we can hear about them. And then what will happen? Ya Shrutva Tatpuravade. Immediately, Badate Tatrishi Krida. We will perform bhajan. We will have a great come in our heart to follow in the footsteps. To hear these leaders practice, do sadhana, following the footsteps of our Guru Varga, so that we may also serve these pastimes. So this is a great mercy on the Lord. Buddha said this is the main reason why Krishna performs these pastimes. So that the jivas in this world, when they hear about them, become so attracted, they want to leave this mundane ras, this jat ras. They want to enter into that aprakrit ras. Therefore, the last chapter of Java Dharma, chapter 40, what is it called? Called entering Leela. We should not only hear these pastimes, but we should desire to enter into them. But not like ahangra upasana, not like to become a gopi. But we want to become gopi bhartu pada kamalaya dasa dasa. We want to serve that rasila, we want to serve the Braj gopis. Become the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lotus feet. So the purpose of not hearing these pastimes only to simply hear them and put them on, record them on our recorders. But we should record them in our hearts so they increase a deep greed in our hearts so that we one day pray that we may also serve these leaders and one day also enter into these pastimes and receive this service, this prem seva. So we are very lucky we are here in the company of the Vaishnavas. They are always merciful and will correct our shortcomings and therefore enlighten us more on these subjects.
So, yesterday was the appearance day of Sri Bhakti Jeevan Janardan Maharaj, and some days before was his disappearance day. So, we also hear how the Vaishnavas have very intimate relationship with him. Once the Vaishnavas were in Chaitanya Gaudiya Math here in Vrindavan, because the time before Rup Sanatana Gaudiya Math was built, Gurudev used to stay there in this Chaitanya Gaudiya Math here in this Badam in Vrindavan. So that day was Ekadashi. So that day was Ekadashi, and that time Vaishnavas had made some nice prasad, Ekadashi prasad. And we hear that the temple president of Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, he took all the prasad and he distributed to everyone else. And then when the Parikrama party returned there to the temple, and there was no prasad for anyone, then they were all looking very angry. The Vaishnavas thinking, oh, you haven't cooked anything. And I was like, I cooked, but he distributed everything away. What can I do? So then anyhow, Vaishnavas, they took shelter of Bhakti Jeevan Janardan Maharaj. And they said, they're saying that I did everything, but I distributed everything. But actually the temple president of Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, he was the one who distributed everything, but still they're saying I did it. So then Bhakti Jeevan Janardan Maharaj, he said, this was in my life also. They alleged that I did something which I didn't do. Then Janardan Maharaj, he was saying that when I was staying there in Medinipur, I was staying in Medinipur and the Shyamananda Gaudiya Math. I was staying with many of my god brothers. Then once, anyhow, the jewels decorating Thakurji, they disappeared. So then they thought that I stole all the jewels away. But then anyhow, they kept looking for those jewels, and then finally they found those jewels were like somewhere hidden underneath some cloth. And they realized that I didn't steal them in the first place. So they said in this Vaishnava world, in this Bhakti Jagat, there'll always be some allegations of something that you didn't actually do. That you did this, but you didn't do it. So sometimes you just have to tolerate. You cannot do anything else. Or else will you go fight with them, so you cannot do anything else. So then anyhow, the Vaishnavas then immediately, they went and they made took some sweet potatoes, and they made some sabji out of it, and then all the devotees from the Parikrama party were fed. And then Janardan Maharaj, he said, oh, will you take me to all the 7 main temples in Vrindavan? Want to have darshan? So the Vaishnava said, all right. Then they arranged one cycle rickshaw. So then Janardan Maharaj, he had a heavy set body. So then this cycle rickshaw wala, he was finding it very difficult to cycle Maharaj. So then Vaishnava said, you get down, I'll cycle. So then he got down from the cycle rickshaw and the Vaishnavas themselves started cycling very quickly. And Janardan Maharaj was very happy then. The cycle rickshaw wala, he was also running behind the rickshaw. So then this way they had darshan, all the 7 main temples there, and he was very happy. Also we hear how once Janardan Maharaj, he was doing parikrama and his leg got hurt somewhere and there was so much blood coming out. Vaishnavas immediately tore they took their uttariya, took a piece of cloth, tore it, they covered that wound. Janardan Maharaj, he was like, oh, just see. He had no consideration that this cloth is so nice, that immediately you covered this wound of mine, and he was so happy. Then we hear how Janardan Maharaj, he would tumble on the floor, roll on the ground, even though he was so aged. Like we hear, even Gurudev, he saw one devotee, he was wearing very nice cloth there in Raval ground. We heard this some days before. And his cloth was so white and not a speck of dust. And Gurudev said, oh, you're wearing cloth like this, but where is the dust of grudge on your body? Nothing. Means you're not even offering pranams to this dham. Therefore your cloth is so nice and clean. You should roll in the dust here. So Janardan Maharaj, by his own life, he was showing how he was rolling in the dust there all the time in this way. So very Rasik Vaishnava. And yesterday also, if I'm not mistaken, was also the disappearance day of Madhusudan Das Babaji, who is the Guru of Jagannath Das Babaji. So we hear that Madhusudan Das Babaji Maharaj's Samadhi is actually there in Suryakund. Because they were saying that in this Agrayan Mass he disappeared. So we hear that Madhusudan Das Babaji Maharaj, he was only initiated when he was 12 years old. So when he was 12 years old, he was initiated. But he didn't know the name of his Guru. So he was thinking that I haven't received any instructions on how to chant my mantras, don't know the name of my Guru, what is the use? So he went to Kamyaman, he went everywhere, but he couldn't find his Guru. Finally he said, now I'll give up my life in Radhakund. Gurudev has actually described his life in the book Char Vaishnava Acharya. In the section describing Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj's life, he has given a short life history on Madhusudan Das Babaji Maharaj's life also. So then Madhusudan Das Babaji Maharaj, he was thinking, I should just give up my life, drown myself in Radhakund. So he took one big, huge Giridhari Shila, tied it around his neck, and as he was about to jump inside, anyhow Radha and Krishna, they saved him, they protected him, they brought him back to the surface, and they wrote the name of his Guru on some tal leaves. His Guru's name was Uddhav Das Babaji. So Uddhav Das Babaji was in the line of Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu. And they also wrote some instructions on how to chant the Gopal mantra. And then they sent him away, saying go and do bhajan in Suryakund. So when he was staying there in Suryakund, he was known as Siddha Baba. Because when he would do bhajan there, he would take part in his holy lila. Radha and Krishna would throw colors at each other, and those colors would also appear on his body. And he would be so fragrant. And all the Brajvasis, they'd say, oh, you're Siddha Baba, and they would touch his feet. And also sometimes, he would speak Harikatha, and a huge python would also come and listen to his katha. All the different animals would come and listen to his Harikatha, or to speak of human beings. And then finally, if you go to Surya Kund, there you can see there is this Mukut Shila. There is this Giridhari Shila which has the mark of Srimati Radhika's crown. So when Madhusudan Babaji Maharaj is doing bhajan there, on the banks of Surya Kund, and Radharani herself appeared to him in a dream and told him that there is this Mukut Shila of mine inside the Kunda, you should bring it out. But then he was thinking the Shila is like more than 80-100 kilos, how can I bring it out? Radharani said, no, don't think like this, you just touch it and you just see. And as soon as he touched it, it became lighter than a flower. And he brought the Shila out. And to this day you can have darshan for this Mukut Shila there in Surya Kund. And also this Nam Brahma also you can have darshan. There is written the Mahamantra on a piece of wood. And you can have darshan there also. Like in Ambika Kalna also, Bhagavan Das Babaji used to worship this Nam Brahma. So the Yeshua was disappearance day also. Vesh Guru was Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. And today is the appearance day of Srila Gurudev's Siksha Guru, Puja Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. So Gurudev himself, when speaking about his own life, he has described so much. Gurudev, when he was a small boy, he would always listen to his father speak on Ramcharitmanas and Mahabharata and all these different scriptures. And Gurudev would say, after listening to Ramcharitmanas, the whole night I would be weeping, thinking how Sita was exiled, how Ram was exiled to the forest, how Sita was again left by Ram, how she entered into this Patal Lok. The whole night I'd be weeping, and again I'd start reading. In the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, Ram, Sita, Lakshman, Hanuman would give me darshan. This way all these impressions were coming to Gurudev in his Naravat Leela. He'd say, my Kulguru, he spoke on the Bhagavatam for 1 month. And my seva was to arrange the asan for him, to keep the Bhagavatam there, decorate the hall, arrange Mahaprasad for everyone, distribute. I did this for 1 month, and my Kulguru was so pleased with me, he blessed me. And Gurudev was also saying that there was this one festival celebrating Hanuman's glories, this Mahavir Chandi Mahotsav. So there, Gurudev for the first time he heard this kirtan, this Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So then this way he heard this kirtan being sung there for the first time, and he became very much attracted to this kirtan. And then when Gurudev was in school, there was a Sanskrit quiz that Gurudev won. So then as a prize for the Sanskrit quiz he won, he received one book on the life of Nimbaditya. So when he read this book on the life of Nimbaditya, Gurudev became very much inspired, saying, oh, he's such a great Vaishnava, such a great sadhu. And then Gurudev also liked history very much. So in the history book, he saw a description of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and a nice picture there. So since then, these impressions came in his life about Mahaprabhu and all his associates and everything. So then as we hear, when Gurudev was very young, he had to give up his studies because his father was a farmer and there was not much money to support the family. So he gave up his studies. So then Gurudev's sister, her father-in-law was a police inspector. So her father-in-law was a police inspector. He recommended Gurudev for this police inspector duty, saying you should come, you're very strong, you should do this duty. So then Gurudev, he joined there, and then he was first posted there in Rajmahal in Buxar district, which is the border of Bihar and Bengal. Because previously, before independence, Bihar, Bengal and Odisha were one province. So there in Rajmahal, when Gurudev was there he met the devotees from Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. Pujya Narothamananda Prabhu and many of the brahmacharis like Radhanath Brahmachari, Prem Prayojan Brahmachari. So all these other different devotees from Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, they all came there. They were speaking at one officer's house. So there Narothamananda Prabhu, he was speaking on the Bhagavatam there. He would speak in Bengali, and also he would speak in English to Gurudev sometimes, because Narothamananda Prabhu didn't speak Hindi and Gurudev didn't speak Bengali. So sometimes they speak to each other in English also. And in this way, Gurudev had so many questions that Narothamananda Prabhu would answer. Gurudev was performing his Leela, saying, why do we chant this Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, which should be Hare Ram. this way. And then Narottam Prabhu was saying how in Kali Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu themselves are Krishna and Balram, are your Ram and Lakshman. Your Ram and Lakshman have themselves appeared as Gaur and Nitai in this Kali Yuga. And then in Kali Yuga you'll see all the different sampradayas, they'll merge into this one sampradaya, Gaur and Nitai, Mahaprabhu sampradaya. And this is happening. Even recently, 1,000 devotees came from South India, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, everywhere. And they're actually from the Sri Sampradaya. They're the disciples of one Swamiji, Muralidhar Swamiji. But although they're from the Sri Sampradaya, this Swamiji, he sent thousands of devotees and he has one temple called Chaitanya Kutir. And this Chaitanya Kutir, although he's from the Sri Sampradaya, he has deities of Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu dancing there. So you see this prophecy is already coming true, that all the Sampradayas are going to merge into Mahaprabhu Sampradaya. Although he's from the Sri Sampradaya, still he has deities of Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. He's glorifying Mahaprabhu. So in this way, Narottam Prabhu, he glorified Mahaprabhu so much, and Gurudev, as we know, after some time, he left home after that. So in this way, Gurudev would always remember Madhusudan Maharaj with so much love, saying he was my beloved Siksha Guru. And if you could come across any disciples, if any disciples would come to see him in Mathura, and even if Gurudev would be surrounded by so many devotees, still, if any devotee would be standing at a distance from Gurudev, then Gurudev would say, "Why are you at a distance? You are my god brother. You should not maintain distance. Come front." And Gurudev would take his disciples front. He had so much love. And we hear also when Madhusudan Maharaj entered into Samadhi, Gurudev sent the Vaishnavas there to Mayapur. Go there and arrange everything there. Viraha Mahotsav. Then he sent donation also for Maharaj's Samadhi there. That a huge amount of money in this way. So Madhusudan Maharaj was also Siksha Guru of Trivikram Maharaj. Like we hear when Trivikram Maharaj was a student there, when Madhusudan Maharaj came to his village in his Vardhaman district, and Trivikram Maharaj said, "How are you any different from the sadhus in Ramakrishna Mission?" And Narottam Prabhu, he spoke everything. He spoke so much katha. He said, "We're not like them, completely different from them." And then we hear Trivikram Maharaj is so happy by him. And immediately he arranged truckloads of pumpkin, potatoes, all these vegetables. He said, "Oh, anything you need for this parikrama, Navadvip parikrama, where thousands of people are going to come, you take as many vegetables as you want, as many truckloads as you want." He's giving so much. And then finally when Trivikram Maharaj's grandfather found out, he stopped everything. Then Trivikram Maharaj said, "Okay, I'll go to the bank in Calcutta. I'll give all the money to him," but they locked the bank account. Then Trivikram Maharaj had a nice watch. He gave this watch away also to Narottam Brahmachari. He sold that watch and he gave them money also. And then Narottam Brahmachari invited him for his Navadvip Dham Parikrama, and they all came there. This way they had a very intimate relationship with him. And we hear also that Narottam Prabhu, he was previously a news reporter in Amrit Bazar Patrika. So Amrit Bazar Patrika was a very respected newspaper in Calcutta. Two newspapers are very famous there during British rule. Amrit Bazar Patrika and the Statesman. These two were the most important ones. So there when he was this journalist there, that time when he came to this exhibition, this Mayapur theistic exhibition, then immediately when he saw this name, theistic exhibition, he became so happy. Because normally there were spiritual exhibitions, then mundane exhibitions, but immediately there he saw theistic. Theistic means like straightforward. We only worship one God. And there he saw how all the customs in Bengal that were prevalent, like taking money for darshans and pujaris doing many bad things, like using salagram shilas and breaking peanuts and doing all these things. Immediately he saw this and he was so happy, thinking, "Who is this sadhu? I want to meet him." Then he saw Prabhupada sitting there in the middle of Calcutta in a temple, and he was thinking that discussing the Upanishads, Vedas, Shastras, all these things in the middle of the city there. All these Shastras should be discussed in the forest. But I see here in the middle of the city, he's discussing all these Shastras with all these young men who are dressed as brahmacharis, sannyasis, immediately very much influenced by him. And Prabhupada immediately sent him preaching, saying, "You go." And sent him to Mumbai, preaching there. There he was staying with Sridhar Maharaj. And there when Sridhar Maharaj is preaching so nicely, there someone proposed that a temple be opened here. So then Prabhupada, he told Madhusudan Maharaj, "Will you mind staying here? If you don't stay with me," then he said, "No, I'd be very happy to stay here." Then Prabhupada, he gave him this Bhagavatam set that he himself had signed. Then he said, no, you keep this. So then Narottam Prabhu, he took that as Prabhupada's order. The Prabhupada is going to have me speak on the Bhagavatam for the rest of my life. And then Prabhupada actually wanted to send him even to the West. But Narottam Prabhu said, that much separation I cannot tolerate, he said. That much distance I cannot tolerate. And Prabhupada, he looked at Swami Maharaj. Okay. Abhay Babu, he will go, he said. So in this way, Madhusudan Maharaj, very dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And we see also when this Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti was founded in 1940, there were three members. Who were they? Param Gurudev, Abhaycharan Bhaktivedanta Prabhu, and Narottomananda Prabhu. And then soon after Param Gurudev took sannyas from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Narottomananda Prabhu also took sannyas from Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And he had so much respect for his god brothers. And Gurudev was saying that in 1968, after Param Gurudev disappeared, some devotees from Chaitanya Saraswat Math, they published one article in their monthly saying that Rath Yatra does not take place in Navadvip or Vrindavan. Why should it take place when it's Vrindavan? So in Gurudev, he wrote an article in response saying actually Rath Yatra means is going from Dwaraka to Vrindavan. So what is the harm in having Rath Yatra here in Vrindavan? And if this is the case, then why have the devotees who have previously even ordered Mahaprasad during this Rath Yatra in Navadvip, why are they now speaking against this Rath Yatra? And they had Mahaprasad there previously. And also if someone does Rath Yatra and Mansi Seva, then what is the harm? Mansi Seva is even more powerful. So are you saying you should not do Rath Yatra even in your mind, in Vrindavan and Navadvip, in this way? This way Rath Yatra is only meant as Uddipan, to remind all the devotees of these pastimes. So then some devotees from the temple there, they were saying, oh, Narayan Maharaj is speaking out against Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And Gurudev said, if Srila Sridhar Maharaj would have directly told me to stop writing, I would have stopped immediately. I knew that Sridhar Maharaj had nothing to do with this. That some other disciples, respected disciples, devotees have written this article. So this way there was a huge commotion there in Navadvip, where Gurudev said, spoke very strongly, saying if anything is being told against my Guru Maharaj, I cannot remain silent. So that time, Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj, he also took Gurudev's side. He said what he's saying is true. Many disciples of Prabhupada, especially Gurudev mentioned the name of Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj. He stood by my side. And he said whatever Narayan Maharaj has said is true. That if anyone says something against his Guru Maharaj's Vichardhara, he has every right to protect that Vichardhara, he said. No one should have any doubt about this. So Gurudev, every time he would go meet him there in Vardhaman, in Mayapur, Navadvip, in this way. Because he was his Vartna Pradarshak Guru also, along with being a Siksha Guru. You see, in devotional life, you cannot neglect anyone. Even one person who just shows you the way to the temple, he should also never be forgotten for the rest of his life. Person just giving you a book, even he should not be forgotten. And Gurudev is showing by his own life how much respect, love he had for all the disciples of Prabhupada in this way. So in this way, today is the Avirbhav Tithi, the Vyas Puja Mahamahotsav of Srila Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj. And even now, one of his disciples is Bhakti Jeevan Janardan Maharaj. He's so old, maybe 95, 96 years old, but still he's preaching so much, speaking so much Harikatha. And he has had so much Siksha from Gurudev. In his Pushpanjali is mentioned whenever I would go to Mathura, Narayan Maharaj used to show so much love for me, so much affection. He'd always take me to this Dampier Park for morning walks, and he'd speak so much Tattva Siddhanta to me, saying how your Guru Maharaj was like this, like that. So Gurudev was the ideal Siksha Guru. Because what does the Siksha Guru do? He increases your Guru Nishtha. He increases your Guru Bhakti. So Gurudev used to increase the Guru Bhakti and Guru Nishtha of all these disciples. And then Bhakti Jeevan Janardan Maharaj also used to say, I received so much love from Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj. Once I went to one house program where Vaman Maharaj was also invited. And I asked Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj that how do you maintain such a big institution with so many different kinds of brahmacharis, sannyasis? And Vaman Maharaj said, I even blow on cold panta. Panta means rice which has been left behind from the previous night. So this rice is automatically cold. There's no need to blow on it. You only blow on something which is hot. But why should you blow on something which is cold? So he says, still I blow on this cool rice. Why? It means even those are very cool-headed, level-headed, even to them I speak very sweet words. Or else they might even leave the temple in this way. So this way, Acharya Maharaj, he received so many instructions from so many of members of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. So in this way, Maharaj's temple, Madhusudan Maharaj's temple and Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti have very close ties, very strong ties. And this name Bhakti Kamal was given by Prabhupada himself. It is this lotus Bhakti. You see, this lotus is the most important flower in Bhakti Jagat, more than even rose. Normally, you see, rose is considered the king of flowers, but not the rose, the lotus. Therefore, is Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj in this way. So today is most wonderful, most auspicious Avirbhav Tithi. And without remembering the glories of our Guru Varga, and how are we possibly offering any Shraddhanjali or Pushpanjali at the lotus feet? So therefore, the very beloved Siksha Guru of Gurudev Trivikram Maharaj, beloved God brother of Srila Param Gurudev. So offering these words of Pushpanjali, so to speak, you can only pray that our Guru Bhakti will always increase day by day.
Evara karuna karo Vaishnava gosa Jan